Hello, my name
Hello.
is Ailbhe. I'm here with Attila and Nora in Kinsale, County Cork, and we are going to be taking part in Sick of Plastic's Conversations Celebrating Reuse Month this October. I'm originally from a group called the Eco-Friendly Villagers in Dunshaughlin, County Meath, which actually started as a Sick of Plastic group. I just wanted to thank Sick of Plastic for making that so easy to start our group, because all we had to do was just set up an email address and we already had a ChangeX platform and pretty much everything, like letter templates and everything. So it was really just very easy to set up a group and create a community for that. So thank you, Sick of Plastic. So Attila and Nora are the owners of a shop called Mamukko in Kinsale. Can you tell us a bit about the shop?
Sure, yeah, it's a pleasure, and thanks a lot for this opportunity. So I'm Attila. I'm a co-founder of Mamukko. I founded Mamukko in 2011 with my brother Levente Magyar. We have a heritage in leather craftsmanship, but we started to do something, to keep our family tradition, which is leather craft. We are 6th generation leather workers, my brother and myself. But we wanted to continue the family tradition, but we do it in a more eco-conscious way, to introduce other materials like sails and life rafts. So we started in 2011, and at the moment I'm running it with my wife Nora here in Kinsale. We are based here in Kinsale, and we make our own products here in Kinsale.
Yeah, I was studying dressmaker.
Oh, okay.
So
Cool.
when I was 14, so back in the 90s in Hungary,
Wow.
it wasn't so excited for me at that time.
Yeah.
And then I always thought I'd never be sitting behind a sewing machine again. And it's interesting how life is turned out,
Yeah.
So I'm happy. I studied back at the 90s, and then it's not a new for me, so it's really familiar, and I can work with the machine and the fabric, so that's very handy now. I was working in a shoe factory as well, so leather is
Oh yeah.
also easy for me, and Levi showed us for me and teach me everything, how to use these fabrics, what to look after, and how to mix them with the leather.
Right. Why was reuse so important for you guys when you were starting off? You
can be proud of something. I mean, that's really nice we have that kind of business, and I'm proud of it.
The reuse comes from imprints, from what we learned from our parents and grandparents. For us. So how I look at it, I remember my grandfather, who was a master cooper, making barrels, asking us children to straighten nails and to reuse nails.
Right.
I remember my grandmother washing and drying plastic bags to reuse them. Our parents are conscious people, so this is how we were raised up,
Yeah.
So what we are trying to do is we are trying to keep this heritage and to show this to our child, It's getting a lot of new input from new initiatives happening here in Kinsale Island about reuse, like Plastic Free Kinsale and other initiatives, So what we show and teach our kids is very, very important. My brother Levi always had an idea. Where we are from, there's no sea, there's no, there's only a small lake. So he always wanted to reuse sails.
Right.
Sails from boats. That's a very nostalgic, adventurous material.
Okay.
So he had this idea, this dream to make products from sails. So naturally, it just evolved.
Okay. So we're here in the workshop area now. So what type of materials do you use?
So we started with sails, recycling sails that we were able to source locally. Some white sails, squib sails, which is the orange color of the sails. And then we weren't able to source enough sails, so we tried to look after some other materials.
Okay.
So we sourced a life raft. Life raft is a natural rubber material. It's a very strong material, 2 layers of life raft, and there's a mesh in between. And it's very strong, but we are still able to use it to combine it with the leather.
And we also use different type of leathers. So leather which is
Okay.
on an airplane seat cover.
Okay, so
change the covers on the airplane seat. Yeah, we use them, and then we can use the buckle with it. You know.
So the thing is, what we used there, this is a nice example of 3 materials combined.
Okay.
So a sail material for the front, leather which comes from a closed shoe factory from Ireland, and the back is the life raft.
Okay.
Sail is a polyester material, the synthetic material. So we print on them.
Okay.
So we can print with 200 degrees on them.
And this is from the sail?
This is a sail material, which is with an original three-step zigzag stitch.
Cool. And I like that you have printed on it that it's a sail and an airplane seat together. That's nice.
Sometimes they refurbish the whole interior of an aircraft, and they just have to. So this is still good.
Okay.
So it's not decommissioned, but when they change the full interior, they just rip them off. And we made this connection. They don't throw them out. We get them and we use them. And the buckle makes up the unique Mamukko product here. People don't know this is a sail.
For sure.
Only 1% of population know, or who knows what's a life raft. Okay.
Yeah.
But when they see the buckle, it's instantly recognizable. That's the same with the fishing net. When we use fishing nets for certain pockets of parts of our product, that's another material which is instantly recognizable. You know, so people know, oh, that's cool. You know, they associate it with the original product.
How did you find changing between original leather, like you would have learned when you were younger, to using these new recycled materials?
It's a bit challenging because these fabrics originally doesn't function. They don't need to as a bag material, you know. So it's not that stretchy. It's harder to work with, but it's possible.
Okay.
I was born into to use the. I mean, you know, when I started the business, straight away we started using these non-stretchy, these type of materials. To explain it, so my father is a leather worker with 60 years experience in the craft, in the industry. So when we invited him over in 2011 and showed him with my brother Levi what we are doing, he said, guys, it's impossible, you know.
Wow.
So, and the reason why he did that is that, okay, when you're a leather worker and you get the material, what our father does it, so he always does it's not leather. When he gets a material, you know, he's always pulling it, how flexible it is, how stretchy it is, So he said, guys, no, don't. So for him, it was, you know, when you are using something for 60 years, or that was 52 or something. So for him, it was very strange to see the combination of a traditional material designed or you know, made for a leather product, the combination of a traditional material with a non-traditional, non-stretching material. But for me and for Levi, when we started all this, so we explored a lot. So Levi did probably literally hundreds of prototypes to test the combination, you know, how they work together, you know. You can use certain types of materials together, how they, you know. So it was a learning process, and still is. We have other materials as well, so we line our products with a certain material or 2 types of materials that comes from so this orange material comes from a company from Northern Ireland. Originally, so this is a remnant, and it's called officially. So it's a Preconsumer. pre-consumer waste.
Yeah,
Right.
usually we work with three types of leather.
Okay.
So one from the airplanes, we come from the closed shoe factory, and we use brand new leather from Italy. The classic chrome tan process of the leather, it's not the best for the environment. So this is a wet tan leather that's more soft.
So the leather industry in general is a very, very, very dirty business. That's a fact. So that's the reason is that the way they prepare the material from the raw hides is they add certain types of usually chromium, and when chrome mixes with oxygen at the end of the process, that's not good for the environment. Okay. Unfortunately, in the current production methods, more than 90% of the world's leather is still made with this process.
Wow.
But there are many companies who developed different types of tanning, leather tanning. This type of leather comes from Italy. It's not chrome tanned, it's vegetable tanned.
Right.
So the tanning process is using vegetables to create the leather and to color the leather.
And do you ever look into the farming of the cattle? Like from which farms it comes from, and if the farms are conscientious and if they take care of the animals?
No, I haven't. So, but it's a good question to look more behind what's going on. From our aspect, with from product development, we try to design them to last as long as possible, but we see bags that we made 6-7 years ago, and they still function well.
Okay.
When we use a sail, we try to cut them up in a more economic way. That's a standard in leather cutting. Leather is a more valuable material, raw material. So when you're cutting leather, you have to be very precise to have as little lace as possible. First for financial reasons, and obviously for eco-friendly, sustainable reasons as well. So we follow these methods as well. Of course, when we are cutting our sails or the life rafts, we use to have as little waste materials as possible, but there's no such thing as zero waste. Certain types are too thick, or certain types are designed in the original product which are not suitable for our product. So unfortunately we have to put those in the skip, and they go to general landfill.
Okay.
But if we have leftover leather or leftover other kind of fabrics, we donate them for an organization in Dublin, and they select it to different schools for the kids. They can
arts projects,
as an arts project. And Attila is very good. He's very good in leftover leather. He used to make a kids workshop during the summer back in Hungary. Make crafts from the leftover little piece of leather.
Nice.
So yeah.
So next year we'll be 10, probably in March, April, May. I don't know exactly when we started. The starting point was a bit loose, but 10. I think it will be a milestone, and probably we will do a bit of DJing. We are both brothers. We'll invite Levi back for a DJ session, playing vinyls and playing our sound system, which is called Mamukko Hi-Fi. Lovely, nice speakers and nice sound coming out of it. We'll invite our friends, we'll invite everyone who supported us and had an input into our business with ideas, support, and it would be amazing to have our parents, because I think they are very, very, very proud of what we achieved, and probably Nora's family as well would be good.
Would be lovely, yes.
So yes, I think we should start with them. We'll throw a big party, and probably I'll heat this all with a big champagne.
Happy New Year's, man!